Hello and welcome to this channel. My name is Jade. I'm a child sleep expert, mum of two, and founder of the S.L.E.E.P Success Method. So today I'm going to talk you through my method, my framework, which has been designed to keep things really simple for parents when it comes to their child's sleep. When sleep starts to fall apart or feels disconnected, it can be really toughest to know exactly where to focus on. And this is what we're going to talk about today. So the framework itself, S stands for sleep pressure. L stands for looking at the signs, which is external things that can be going on in our little ones' lives, developmental leaps, a lot of things that we can't overly control. E stands for environments. The second E stands for evaluating sleep props. So that's where we dive into more sleep associations. Are there parts of their settle that are potentially disconnecting the sleep? And P stands for planning your goals. So anytime that sleep starts to feel misaligned for you, you can come back to this framework, work through it, and know exactly which bits that you need to focus on. So let's focus on the last part of the sleep success framework. P is for planning your goals. It's all very well you watching this series or reading up other resources, but unless you're going to take action, it doesn't mean anything. So what I want you to do is to take a moment to write down what your current challenges are. What is it that's really becoming the part that's unsustainable or the part you're finding the hardest? Is it getting the naps right? Is it getting the bedtime routine right? Is it the night wakes where there's a strong reliance on something to get them back to sleep? Is it the early rises? What's the hardest part for you right now? The second part I want you to focus on is, now that you've worked through this framework, what's your biggest focus area? It might be an aspect of all of them. There might be something external going on, but you also know you need to make some changes. Do you need to dive in more to their sleep pressure and figure out exactly what they need because something's changed and you don't know where to start? It's always a good basic to focus on that anyway, just to make sure you're getting it right. And that way you can rule that part out. Is it that you need to focus on how they fall asleep at bedtime to help the nights and then focus on the nights? That might be the part that you really need to dive into. So start to actually compartmentalize. So rather than thinking about sleep as a whole, start to actually really focus it and go, actually, I really need to get on top of their naps because everything just feels a mess. And I also need to work on this part. And write it all down. Okay? Now, your action steps, you might not know 100% as to how you're going to make the changes. That's okay. It's what I'm here for. But it might give you an idea of how you might want to start. So, for example, if one of your big goals, and that's what you also need to write down, but one of your big goals might be having your partner settle for bedtime, because that's not really been an option so far. What are you going to do to make that happen? Okay, so is it that both of you are going to be involved in the bedtime routine and the settle for the next week before you start transitioning the reins, if you like? Is it a part of the settle that you need to work on to make that happen? So get really clear on some things that you can actually start to take action on that align with your bigger goals. What is it that you're aiming for? What's the big things that's going to make a big difference to their sleep and your life right now? So if it's the bedtime battles, for example, your vision is that bedtime takes half an hour instead of 2 hours. How are you going to make that happen? Is it the consistency that you need to focus on? Do you really need to focus on the bedtime boundaries? That's a massive thing for all age groups, is bedtime boundaries and how we make it really, really bulletproof consistent. And that's not harsh boundaries. It's just making sure things don't deviate. Okay, they might not be happy if they don't get their fifth story that first night, but it'll start to feel easier. So do you need to rein in the boundaries to make that happen? So start to just write it down and things become much clearer. We are 43% more likely to meet our goals if we write them down. So if you can take any action today, really focus on what you've learned throughout this series, what you're aiming for, and some ideas of how you might go about it, you're already going to be 10 steps ahead of where you were whenever you started watching this. So that is my biggest bit of advice to you. Now, I know that's not so easy, okay? So if you're feeling really stuck, you don't know where to start, you don't know if it's the right approach that you're thinking of, you don't know if it's going to work for you, work for your little one, reach out to me anytime. You can drop me an email, you can get in touch via the website, you can reach out through my resources, and I'd be very honoured to take you all the way in handhold. That's what I do, and make sure that we get an approach that aligns with you, aligns with your little one, for who they are as a little person. Like I say, their temperaments count for a lot. So do their little personalities. We have some kids who are really easygoing, adapt really well to change. So your simple little changes might be enough to help kickstart and start the ball rolling. If you've got one who's really emotionally strong, they're my favourite to work with. And maybe a little bit more resistant to change, you might need to really think about what happens if you have that tougher night. How are you going to lay those foundations and boundaries for them? So I hope that this series has been helpful. Again, you can reach out to me absolutely anytime. This is why I do what I do. And if I can help you in any other way at all, or if you just have a quick question, I'm here for it. And I'll speak to you soon.